Stay Sane with Jane, the show that helps you and your business to thrive, not just survive. Tune in each week as Jane connects with guests in the wellness, business and publishing worlds, bringing you the most up-to-date training, techniques, healing and guidance for growth, mindset and motivation. Each session includes a magical guided meditation led by Jane or one of her special guests. Here's your host, Jane Scanlon. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Stay Sane with Jane. Today I'm going to be talking to Sharon Brown, the book chief. But first of all, I just wanted to tell you about a couple of events coming up. So every month I host a Minditation in-person and online session. So as you know, Minditation is my coined little phrase for mindfulness and meditation. So as you know, I do like to blend my treatments and practices in all of my sessions. So for this online and in-person monthly meetup, I'm bringing all my skills with me to the table. So I'll take you through a circle with cuppa, a little cup of tea, and connection space, which will probably eventually turn into a cacao ceremony. I'm looking up how to get qualified in that just now. We will have some beautiful essential oils there, obviously some candles and crystals. I will guide you through self-massage, and then we'll do the Minditation, which is a combination of mindfulness and meditation. So this event is a monthly event and held at the Queen's Hotel and Spa in Bournemouth. And you can also join us online via Zoom. It's on the third Tuesday of the month at 7:30 till 9 o'clock. So generally there are only 6 in-person tickets available. So you need to book ASAP if you do want to join us. That's not anything to do with the space that I've hired within the venue, but this is something that the divine asked me to do, to just hold space for 6 in-person guests, with me making lucky number 7, and then our other guests online on Zoom. So it's £25 per session or £20 per month if you decide to join the monthly membership for the Minditations. If you'd like any other details, then just head over to Facebook and type in Minditations. So a combination of mindfulness and meditation. And that's at the Queen's Hotel and Spa in Bournemouth on the third Tuesday of the month, 7:30 p.m. So let's get on with our amazing interview with the wonderful Sharon Brown. Hello and welcome, Sharon.
Hi, Jane. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. I'm really, really excited to talk to you because you do, well, so many amazing things. We're going to really focus on the book chief, but we will hear about some of the other gems that you have created and work with, and I will 100% be getting you back for a second and third interview to talk about those as well.
Can't wait.
So tell us a little bit more about you. Who is Sharon Brown?
Okay, so as you can tell, I'm from up north, so I am a Scottish lady. I moved down here 20 years ago to the West Midlands, and that's where I'm still based in the West Midlands. I moved down here about 2003, Jane, and I started my business, or a business, 7 years ago when I was in the event space. I was very, very big in events. I'd been doing events and marketing in my corporate role. And I thought, I want to do this for myself. So I started out 7 years ago, 2015, and I launched Lydian Events Limited. Um, Totally different from what I do now. So I've kind of totally evolved, and I've changed Lydian Events to Lydian Group, and that houses 4 other platforms within it, which are all online. So in terms of myself, I'd say I'm a founder, a publisher, a digital entrepreneur. I'm a wife, I'm a mother to 2 fur babies, and I enjoy the outdoors. I enjoy doing lots of different things in my personal life. But that's just a very quick sum up just about who
Yeah.
I am, really.
And whereabouts in Scotland are you from?
I'm from Glasgow. I haven't lost the accent, thankfully.
Yeah.
So yeah, I moved down to Birmingham in 2003, and I now live in Walsall. And I've
Mhm.
lived in Walsall for about 15 years. And as you can see, as I said, I haven't picked up the accent or lost my own accent, which is quite unusual sometimes because I think a lot of the time when people move, they tend to pick up the local accent. But I've definitely not done that yet.
No, oh,
Might
you've
take
got a
another 20
beautiful
years.
accent. You got a
Oh,
beautiful
thank you.
accent. Um, so when you tell us a little bit more about kind of how you got started in your field. What's your journey been? So it's clearly been from corporate and then creating all this magic afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of people will probably relate to this. I think when you're working in a corporate job at the time, you've kind of got a job role to do, you've got a job description to stick to, your innovation, your initiative, a lot of other things, creativity are kind of stifled. And I don't think you really understand how much that you have within you until you go out on your own. And that's exactly what happened to me. I put myself in a box that other
Yeah.
people were putting me in. Um, and then I did still work up until 2017. So when I started my business, it was a side hustle. So for the first 2 years, I was working at night. I was trying to build things up in the event space. It's very, very difficult to go out on your own as an event organizer, an event planner, or whatever it is that you do in that field.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's very difficult, but the one thing I did realize after a couple of years, after doing a couple of corporate roles, corporate conferences and stuff for other people, I realized I was actually still working for somebody else. And I thought,
Ooh,
yeah, I know that's a whole other conversation. But
yeah,
it kind of dawned on me. I was still being told what to do by people who were less experienced, which was
yeah.
always the way in the corporate world as well. And I thought, I don't really think this is for me. I don't think this is the right path that I've taken. So within a couple of years, I realized the way that business was heading. It was heading onto the online space more and more and more. And I
Mhm.
thought, I want to do that. Ultimately, I'm a big believer in manifestation. So ultimately, I was pushing myself in hindsight. I know this now. I was pushing myself towards a kind of laptop lifestyle because
Yeah,
the most important thing really for me is freedom and flexibility and
yeah,
time.
yeah.
I'm not a money driven person because I feel money just comes anyway if you've got a passion and purpose, which it always has done. And I
Mhm.
was very kind of driven to go into that online space. I've got elderly parents still up in Scotland. I knew I needed to spend more time with them. And I
Yeah,
think that was at the back of my mind the whole time, really, when I was pushing myself to go self employed. So when I did go self employed, just very quickly, I won't go into each platform at the moment, but I started on the online space in 2018 with Revival Sanctuary, which is a women in business platform. Still going today, but it's evolved hugely into something completely different. And then, as businesses do, and then during lockdown, I had a bit of an epiphany, if you like, and I set up MO2VATE Magazine within 6 weeks of basically saying I was going to do it and then implementing the idea. And getting it started. So that was started in 2020. And then last year I started two businesses. I started the Speakers Index because I saw a kind of gap, if you like, in the market. That's what I tend to do. I look at what's missing and then
Mhm.
I try and fill that gap.
Yeah.
And then the Book Chief came in October last year, and this is where we are now. And the Book Chief has just been a phenomenal project to work on and in. And we just celebrated our 1 year anniversary. We had a little shindig, if you like,
Yeah.
and a very fancy cake. And we had quite a few of the authors come along, and we had a really, really nice time actually. So the Book Chief is going from strength to strength at the moment, and that's kind of where I am. It won't be the last one I start, I can promise you that,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I have got other ideas for next year. Um, but I can honestly say it's the one that I enjoy the most because I never realised how much I love books, how much I loved getting involved with that whole process, and it's just been fantastic.
Oh, that's amazing. What a journey. What a journey. And this now digital kind of laptop lifestyle you now use enables you to take annual leave whenever you want, to go visit your parents, to do what kind of fur babies have you got as well? Do you need to go walking them?
Well, no, I've got the easy kind. I've got, 2 cats,
The
so
cats,
they
yeah,
can go walk themselves, but yeah, I mean, it has really given me freedom, and it means I can work from anywhere in the world. I don't have to see people face to face, although I am starting to implement a little bit more of my events background again, so we're starting to do
yes,
more face to face events now that we can. But that's not a necessity for what I do. It's just something that I feel is a nice thing to do, to get
yeah,
together, to have that face to face. Um, so yeah, I mean it's great because I can go up, and I have gone up to see my parents a lot this year. Every 6 weeks I just take off, and it is a 5 hour drive, so it is a
mm,
journey.
yeah,
Um, but I feel it's important at this point in their life because they're both in their 80s, and it's really important to do that for me. And that's ultimately, I think, what I was heading for. That's why I was kind of manifesting this future, if you
yeah,
like. But it is,
100%.
yeah. And I
When I
totally believe in
decided
that.
when I decided to go, self-employed, when I made the full jump, but I wanted to for so long because of those reasons, for the freedom, for, to be able to use my creativity, um, to not be micromanaged. And in my previous employment, I felt like I wasn't even using my brain. It was so mind-numbingly boring at the end of it. I kind of learnt everything I needed to learn about the job within 6 months, and d unfortunately, I stayed in it, and then when I was pregnant, I had that little monkey mind saying, "Oh, well, at least if you stay in this, like, NHS role, you can go, part-time, you've got flexi hours, so just stay." Well, I should have just looked for another job. It was time, Um,
Yeah,
but eventually just making that move, I don't know how parents kind of survive really, working full time and having children. You just don't have the amount of annual leave. It's not
God,
possible to do all those things,
yeah.
whereas I take a minimum of 10 weeks holiday annual leave a year, um, and I
Wow.
don't know how I could live without that, quite frankly.
If you ever went back to employment, they would have to meet that goal.
I would die.
Oh, no, I think I mean, it's funny, I just answered a post kinda on Facebook earlier, and one of the ladies was asking, "What do you do when your creative brain stops?" And it does, because I've realised that I am actually a very creative person. I have loads of ideas and loads of kind of imagination and what I want to do and various other things. But sometimes if I'm working flat out, and you do have to in the publishing world at times because you've got deadlines, you've got,
Yes.
books have to be released at certain times. And sometimes you just go a little bit brain dead. And I just said, I just sit and watch Netflix for 2 days. And that's me until my creativity comes back online. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you do just switch off and that's it. But I think having the freedom to be able to do that, it's priceless. And it's more
Mm.
than any job or any amount of money can offer you, is to have that freedom to do what you want with your life when you want it.
Yeah. I totally agree. Was when I made the jump, I was only making £500 a month in my business. Obviously, that's not going to sustain me, or my child. But I would say I was in a very lucky position. Now, other people could look at it as, oh my gosh, that poor woman. Because I was a single mum to a young child. I'd moved back to my mum and dad's house. I didn't have a car. I had to borrow my mum's car. I was in my how old am I now? 44. So I was in my late 30s or mid 30s. Um, but that was a blessing because it enabled me to make the jump only earning £500 a month and quickly build my business. And it depends. You must find that with uh, authors and things like that. It depends on how you look at life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Whether you see things as a blessing or a curse, or whether you can turn things around. And I think
Yeah.
that creativity and those ideas that clearly we're both born with all these ideas. Um, it can really just, if you follow that flow, it can take you to all sorts of places, can't it?
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think business is for everybody. I don't think it is. If it was, everybody would be doing it. And I understand that now because it is hard. It is hard, especially at the start. Even when I was doing the event space at the first 2 years, I was getting a couple of jobs here and there, but I wasn't actually earning anything. I was lucky enough to have a partner that was working, but also to have savings. And that sustained me for a certain period of time. But the minute I chose to go into the online space, I was making money straight away. So,
Amazing.
it just depends where you go, how you do it, and what you're offering. Because
Yeah,
if you find a real niche that's missing in the market, then if you hit that sweet spot, then you will make money. But it is a hard slog at the start. Definitely is for anybody, I think. If you're creative like us, then I think we're very blessed to have that gift. Very blessed because we could probably think of something or make money out of anything if you like, if it was
yeah,
a need. And it's not the best term, but I think if push came to shove, we've got an innovative brain. Whereas
yeah,
a lot of people maybe don't have that creative streak and it's more of a struggle. So they have to rely on practical things
yeah.
and help.
And I do think with the creative streak, it's having that doing aspect as well
Yeah.
about you. So if you're an action taker,
Hmm.
because I know lots of creatives, they have
Yeah.
these amazing ideas, but they don't take action
Yeah.
on them, or they do it so slowly, then you don't get the kind of snowball effect
Hmm.
rolling downhill, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Um, yeah. So,
I know, I totally agree with you there. I've seen that myself. A lot of people, they talk a good game. And I guess that's where it comes from, that term. You talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk. And it's really important to have action and I'm lucky because I am very much a doer. If it's in my head, it has to happen. And I've got a little book of ideas, which I have to write down all my other ideas. And it's very, very difficult to actually put a stop to that and say, right, I need to concentrate on what I'm doing at the moment before I do that, because then that whole idea of having freedom and flexibility and time is just going to fly out the window. I have to do one thing at a time or a few things at a time, but there has to be somewhere to stop as well.
I love the idea of an ideas book. That's really, really clever because, lots of ideas come up, but like you say, you've got to focus on one, get it rolling, take action around it. And then often, for me, if I haven't written it down or I haven't told somebody, then
Yeah.
it can get forgotten about.
Exactly, and I think it's a sense of accountability as well, because at least if you write it down or if you tell somebody, it's always there to
Yeah.
remind you, when are you going to start this sort of thing, or you lift up your book. And I do tend to write things down most days, and some of them are rubbish, don't get me wrong. Some of them I look back and I think, what was I thinking?
Yeah, you
But
get to choose though, don't you? And
you
look back on it and
do.
say, "Actually, no, that's not one. Cross that off. On to the next."
Exactly, and then you pick the ones that you've got a belief about and a good kind of gut feeling about. So yeah, really, really important, I think, to do stuff like that if you are a creative person.
Yeah. So tell me more about the book Chief. And those listening, you can look up Sharon Brown and www.thebookchief.com for more information. And obviously, if you're watching this, you're going to have the information to just click on as well. But tell us a little bit more about the book Chief, and then what would it mean? How would I work with you kind of through this platform?
So the book chief, as I said, I kind of launched that last October. Um, the reason I launched a publishing company is because we were doing the magazine and we were doing various books through the magazine as well, which we still do on the new platform. But I was giving these books out to other publishers to do, and then I thought, some things I thought, I would like a little bit more of this, or I'd like a little bit more of that, and it wasn't really forthcoming. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to start my own publishing business because I'm doing books. I may as well publish my own books.
Mhm.
So I did courses, I did research, and I really kind of put my all into it for 6 to 12 months. And so the Book Chief was born, and we do offer something different. We niche in collaborative books. So we do anybody's book, we do solo books, we do every genre, but we niche in collaborative books because that's ultimately what we do in the magazine. So
Yeah.
somebody, if you, I can bring this bit in as well. If you, for instance, wanted to do a collaborative book, we sort out the whole thing for you. We show you how to do it without you spending a penny. So
Ooh.
you would be the lead author in your own book. We would help you get other authors on board, and everybody then becomes an author. Everybody has an achievement, and we actually get you working together as well, because the whole message across all of my platforms is collaboration over competition. So that is the message that I'm trying to get out there, that we can work together. And in the Book Chief, all the ladies, because we do work in a team, all the other people who work with me, they're solo entrepreneurs. They're people who have joined my first platform, so Revival Sanctuary, and they are all now collaborating throughout all of my projects. So we all work together, we all make money through it, we all just work together like a team, and it's great. There's no micromanaging. They've got their own roles to play, I've got my role to play, and it just works really beautifully.
This is amazing. I can already feel in the air a Stay Sane with Jane book, with the co-authors being all the wonderful women I have interviewed.
Absolutely, absolutely, and why not? And I would quite happily be in it as well. So I mean, you have got something there. Anybody who has a business or some message to share can do a collaborative book. So, for
Mm.
instance, we've just published Mildred Mohammed's book, In the Midst of Chaos. And Mildred Mohammed is the ex-wife of the DC sniper who was the most wanted man in the US in 2003.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she's just done a collaborative book with 12 other authors based around domestic abuse.
Yeah.
So she has got a very strong message to share, and these other people in that book have got a similar message, and that's what it's about. That's what
Yeah.
collaborative books are about. And as long as you've got a network of some sort, that you know some people
Yeah.
who are in that same space as you can do a collaborative book, no problem. We take care of the legals, we take care of the guidance and everything. And it can be difficult at times,
Yeah.
doing a collaborative book. It's not the easiest thing to put together, but it's something that we're now on our ninth book within the magazine and
Mm.
across the other platforms in terms of collaborative books. And it's just been an absolute pleasure to kind of build up that network as well, because you work closely with these people. So
Yeah.
it's just a really, really good project to take part in.
It's really interesting because you started this 2021 October, and around either the end of last year and the beginning of this year, the messages, because I channel as well, so the messages that were coming through to me were all about collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. Um, and at that kind of time, I was thinking, who am I going to collaborate with? What am I going to do? How is this going to work? And I mean, slowly, just things have sort of shown themselves to me, and I've seen other businesses as well getting that same message about collaboration and working with a tribe of
Yeah,
women, men that resonate with you, and your kind of, therefore it's not just your message, but it's all of your messages going out to
absolutely.
the same kind of audience, and it's just so powerful, isn't it?
It's very powerful. I mean, we've just done a book again within the Motivate space, and it's the Small Business Owner's Handbook. And we've had, is it about 20 of our article writers have came on board to do this book. It's a brilliant book. It's
Mm.
full of real value for businesses of any level. And we're now, they were a great bunch to work with. So they've all really interconnected with each other. They've made connections, they've met each other, they've done all sorts of things. And we're now going on to do a box set for that book. And half
Wow.
half of those authors have came on board now to do that. And we're going to present it. We're having various events. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with a book. You can, and I actually write about this in our Motivate platform as well. You can octopus your business, but you can do it through a book. If you don't
Mm.
have a business, if you have a book, there's so many other opportunities you can do with that book. It's amazing, and I can really talk about this for the whole day, but I won't, because I'm very, very passionate about it, and I'm very passionate about collaboration because you can't collaborate with everybody. You know, I,
Mm.
you just can't. You have to be very careful.
Yes.
I've collaborated on quite a few projects. Some of them have worked, some of them haven't for various different reasons. But when you get the core people with the right values that match you, with integrity, with honesty, who have got the same vision as you, and they
And
want to
the right
push that
skill set.
absolutely, and complement each other's strengths.
Yeah.
That's really, really important, and I'm very lucky to have that now. It's taken quite a while to get to that point, but it's this is why projects work. Very hard to do something like this on your own. I mean, I could do it, but I'd be working 16 hours a day, and I don't want to do that. So
No.
I would consider myself very blessed to have found the people that I have who work with me on these projects, because that's what makes them work.
Yeah, and I think it's really, I've done collaborations before, and like you say, some have worked, some haven't worked so much, but it's really good to be kind of honest and upfront about exactly what you want to do in the collaboration, what you're willing to compromise on, and what are your no-goes, what will break the collaboration.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, because I think without that kind of communication at the start and that honesty at the start, that's when things start to break down. If you've agreed a shared workload or something like that, and then you find you're doing most of the work, or the other person's taking your work, or it's having those conversations.
Sometimes it's
And
hard conversations. Sometimes
really
it is
hard.
hard, and it's, we all naturally want to get on with everybody. We don't like having hard conversations that's going to make us feel uncomfortable. But unless we have them,
Mm,
things can just fester. And I'm a
yeah,
true believer that I'm very honest and upfront. My Scottish background probably comes in there. So, I just, if I need to say it, it has to be said in a tactful way. So I always try and speak to people that I am working with on a kind of one-to-one level as well, to say, are you okay? Is there something wrong? Or if I do see any differences. But as we all know, we all get bad days as well. And you have to
yeah,
allow for that humanness
yes,
of real life. Um, and I think that's a journey that I've been on in terms of leadership as well, because at the start it was kind of, I think you go into it, you've got a real love for your own business, and you expect everybody else to have the same love, but it's not entirely the way it happens. So your expectations are quite high, and then when people don't meet them, it can get a little bit frustrating. But I think as
yeah.
time goes on, you realise that there's different personalities, there's different things in life that happen, and we just have to try and work together and communicate, which is the most important thing.
So how do people get in touch with you? How do they start to work with you, or start that conversation?
Well, I've had some people, if people did want to collaborate, if they saw me as a good choice, if you like. The one thing that I'm very, very clear about is I don't collaborate with people who I don't know. So
Mhm.
I need to get to know you before I would even consider working with you, because I need to know that we're on the same page in terms of values, in terms of vision, attitudes. There's a lot of things to consider before going into any kind of collaborative, because I always contract.
Yeah,
Everything I do in terms of collaboration or any of my platforms, they're contracted. We've got terms and conditions. If I'm going to work with you, there will be a contract involved, a legal contract, so that we both, as you've said earlier, know our roles and responsibilities and know that they can end at any point, if they're not
yes.
met. And I think that's really, really important. So just starting a I'm very easy to speak to. So anybody that wants to collaborate or has any kind of if you've got a collaborative book, Jen, you know where I am.
Definitely. I will totally be in touch. So you can get in touch with Sharon at www.thebookchief.com. And I can see when you go onto the website, it's really, really simple, and it kind of says what it does on the tin, type of thing. You can book a call, you can look at how to get started, how to get published, how to get featured, and you can look at collaboration. And in big words, there says, there's at least one book in everyone.
Which is the truth.
Yes,
Absolutely the truth.
it is. So, have you got any advice or top tips for our audience?
So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will keep it publishing related. Um, Basically, if you want to do a collaborative book, obviously get in touch with us because we'll make it a fun experience for you. But it's really important to be legally covered with your co-authors. I've seen so many people do collaborative books, they're not covered, and you need to be legally covered. Um, so we provide that for any clients as well. So if
Mhm.
you do want any kind of advice, and we've got Q&As and all sorts of things if somebody comes on board that you can send to your co-authors, and it just saves an awful lot of hassle, if you like, along the road. Like you just said, Jane, you have to make it clear at the start You'll still get
Yeah.
asked questions about the same things because people forget, but at least if it's in black and white, if it's signed, if they've got a Q&A to refer to, it just makes life a lot easier for the lead author and the publisher. So in terms of collaborative books, that's my top tip.
Fantastic. Thank you. And do you have an offer for our audience?
I do have an offer. So if you want to come on board and you want to publish a book, whether that be a solo book or a collaborative book, we can offer some various discounts on that. So just get in touch and I can talk that through with and mention yourself, Jane, as well, and I'll know.
Fantastic. So mention me, Jane Scanlon, or Stay Sane with Jane to Sharon, and you will get a lovely little discount. And remember, go to www.thebookchief.com and you can search for Sharon on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, we've got a group on Facebook which is called the MO2VATE Media group. So it's just MO2VATE Media, and that
Yeah,
covers all of our platforms. And I think we've got about 1,300 people in that group now. So just find me on there and join up and answer the questions, and we'll let you in.
fantastic. Are you a LinkedIn person as well from kind of
Yeah,
corporate background?
yeah. I do go on LinkedIn. I don't tend to go on as much myself now, but we do have pages on there. We've got pages for the Book Chief, for MO2VATE Media, and all the other platforms as well.
Mm,
And every now and again, I will go on, but you can find me on there. And I think it's under MO2VATE Media at the
yeah.
moment as well. I do change it according to the platform offers we have.
Yes. Fantastic. And the Facebook group sounds amazing. So you've got lots of ways of connecting with Sharon. God, it's been really, really interesting to talk to you. Um, any other things you'd like to say about the Book Chief? Oh, do you want to just tell us quickly about the magazine? I am going to get you definitely back to talk a little bit more about your other platforms, but just give us
A little
a little
snippet. Well,
something, a little snip.
it's no longer a magazine. We just relaunched on Saturday,
Yeah.
and it's now a global business and information hub. So basically, we still take articles, but it's more like blogs now. So
Oh,
you can go on to that hub. You can log in. We've got various different memberships. We've got 4 different. One of them are free. You can get all access to all reading. There's just major value on there at the moment. We've got well over 200 articles on, and there's more coming in every day. So I would say just have a look at the website. It's motivatemedia.com. MO2VATE is MO2VATE media.com. And just log up and you will get your newsletter straight to your inbox every month. And that will also include various things about the other platforms as well.
yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Sharon. It's been amazing to have you on. Thank you for all your wisdom. And it was great to hear your journey, your story to how you got started in this field. So that's Sharon Brown from www.thebookchief.com.
Thanks so much, Jane. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Okay. Until the next time, Sharon, farewell. Stay Sane with Jane, the show that helps you and your business to thrive, not just survive. Tune in each week as Jane connects with guests in the wellness, business, and publishing worlds, bringing you the most up-to-date training, techniques, healing, and guidance for growth, mindset, and motivation. Each session includes a magical guided meditation led by Jane or one of her special guests. Here's your host, Jane Scanlon. Hey, wasn't that an amazing interview with Sharon? We're moving on to the next kind of section of Stay Sane with Jane, which is the minditations. Now, minditations are it's my coined phrase for meditation and mindfulness. So let's flow into this together. Take a nice deep breath. And join me. So thank you for joining me for Mindtation session. Today we are going to focus, bring attention to cultivating better awareness and better concentration. So what does focus, attention and concentration mean to you? To begin this meditation, please bring kind awareness to what these words mean to you, how they feel within your belly, chest and head. What kind of emotions that comes up, and any positive or negative impact stories that you believe in regarding this topic. And just remember that there are many others feeling similarly about this topic as you. So let's begin taking a moment to allow your body to settle. Find a comfortable position that allows your spine to be long, but with a natural curve in the lower back. For this practice, you may want to close your eyes. Let the belly and shoulders relax. Today, I'll guide you through a focused attention practice. We'll be focusing on the breath. And as we begin, this is just a reminder that this is a moment for you. So make sure the phone's away from you or on silent, that you're not doing anything else, definitely not driving or anything. This is just a moment for you to sit down and cultivate focus, attention and concentration. This will help calm your mind and relax your body. Before we start, take a full breath in and a long breath out. Then allow the breath to find its natural rhythm in and out. Without trying to change your breathing in any way. Take this time to notice how your body breathes. You may feel the breath as air passes underneath your nostrils, or in the rise and fall of your body. Choose one area to observe the breath for the next few minutes. Whichever area you choose, direct your attention to noticing the inhale and the exhale. That's it, just notice the breath. Whenever you find that the mind has wandered, just come back to the breath. Choosing to direct your attention on the breath. Notice the different aspects of the breath right now. The phases of the inhale and the exhale. Whether your breath is warm or cool, deep or shallow. Observe if there is a pause between the end of one complete breath and the beginning of the next. Focusing just on the breath. If your mind is wandering, counting can be helpful in maintaining focus on the breath. So at the bottom of each exhale, count silently from 1 to 10. Inhale, exhale, and count 1. Inhale, exhale, and count 2. Still noticing the sensations of the breath. Just counting. And if the mind wanders again, just come back to the breath and the counting. You can start back at number 1 without any judgment. And as we begin to close this practice, bring your attention back to the body. How does your body feel? From the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Are there any sounds around you? Are there any smells? And what are the sensations of clothes or air on your skin? Feel where your feet or body make contact with the ground, the chair, sofa or bed that you're on. Maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes. If you want, you can gently open your eyes now. Take in the world around you. You can also stay sitting or lying for a few moments more as your body and mind return to alertness. As you continue the rest of your day, you can access this gentle, refocused energy again and again by refocusing for a few moments on your breath in the way we just practiced. Let's finish this focused attention practice now by taking a full breath in. And a long breath out. Start to move and stretch your body. And to integrate this practice, why not take a moment today to generously listen to someone? When in a conversation, place all of your attention on the other person. Listen with your ears and your heart. and reflect. How does that shift the experience of the conversation for you? How do you think that experience was for them? It's been an absolute pleasure taking you through this meditation. My name is Jane Scanlon, and you've been listening to Stay Sane with Jane. And that was the meditation section of the show. I'm just going to remind you about a monthly meetup that you may well be interested in. This is both in person and via Zoom. So in person, it's at the Queen's Hotel Inn and Spa in Bournemouth. It's my meditation monthly meetup, which is usually the third Tuesday of the month at 7:30 p.m. Meditations is my coined phrase for mindfulness and meditation. And as you know, I like to blend treatments and practices in all of my sessions. So I bring all my skills to the table for this mixed group. We'll start with a cuppa and connection circle. I'll bring some wonderful essential oils to smell and co-create with. I'll then guide you through a self-massage practice, usually the face, neck and shoulders. We'll then go into a little bit of a movement, mindfulness and meditation. So how much is this? For an hour and a half, in person, the sessions are £25, or you could join the monthly membership for just £20 a month. That's also the cost for the Zoom. If you want to join us via Zoom, not in person, it is £20 per session, or again, you can join the monthly membership. So it's really easy to book. Just jump on Facebook, search Meditation, MINDITATION, Meditation, and the links will be there to book your space both in person or online. Thank you so much for joining us this week with Stay Sane with Jane. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. We had the wonderful Sharon Brown on from The Book Chief, and you can connect with her at thebookchief.com. Say my name and you will get a wonderful discount there. I'll see you next week. Thank you and goodbye. Stay Sane with Jane, the show that helps you and your business to thrive, not just survive. Tune in each week as Jane connects with guests in the wellness, business and publishing worlds, bringing you the most up-to-date training, techniques, healing and guidance for growth, mindset and motivation. Each session includes a magical guided meditation led by Jane or one of her special guests.